Cool. So, as y'all already know, it's been a week. Elections and the results have not been that great, has it?
I would say I would disagree because the election is looking pretty good, right? The
True.
person we want to win is winning at the moment. So I would say today is November 4th. All right, so today's November 4th. We're recording this, but this is going to be posted afterwards. So the person we want to win is winning. So I would say I like the results currently.
Cool. It's better than the worst option, is what I would say. Because we're not celebrating the fact that Biden's, cross my fingers, gonna win. Because he still sucks. But it's better than Trump.
Yes.
Right.
But I also said, wait, you just repeated the same thing I said.
Really?
I said,
Love it.
I said the person we want winning is winning, and you said the results isn't that good, and I was like, oh, I kind of don't agree. And then you're like, but that's bad that he's winning. I'm like,
It's not good,
but I didn't say it was.
but it's not the worst.
I didn't say it was good though.
Really?
I said it's good that the person we want winning is winning,
Okay,
because
fine,
people want
fine.
Biden winning, no?
Most people prefer Biden to win because
So still,
it's better, but it's not good.
I didn't say any of that.
Okay. But yeah, I think it's been an anxious week for everyone, I think. Especially last night, people were always telling me that they couldn't sleep. Everyone had anxiety. I had all these posts online that were how to stress relief, anxiety relief, reducing anxiety. Come join us in the community space. It was just so much I feel like everyone was on edge.
That's
So
the
it's
thing. I've been training for this moment all my life. It feels like, honestly, like when you're watching sports, right? One of the social media posts was what's it called? This is how most people feel when they're watching the Super Bowl, right?
most white
So it's
people.
no,
Was
they
it?
didn't say most. They didn't say that. But I'm just saying, so I don't offend everyone. But it's that's what they said. It's like watching the Super Bowl, right? So I'm like, oh, that's true. It's like watching sports. Cause I was on edge. I was I had class. I was watching. I was refreshing, watching the numbers
Yeah.
rise, and I was like,
Oh my
holy,
god. I've never been tens of thousands is not enough.
yeah. It's
It's not gonna make a difference.
it could in the very end,
Yeah.
right? 1,000 over, and whoever gets the place, and they win is still 1,000. They still won,
True.
right? They still won. So yeah, it's last night. Election night was so crazy. Everyone was everyone was so crazy. I would be messaging my friends, and he would be constantly telling me, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's happening, and he kept saying, whole we're not gonna win, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And I was like, dang, you're right. And instead of focusing on class, I was just thinking about this. I was constantly
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
the results.
Yeah. I remember when I was in the workplaces and just the different spaces I've been in, they were like, I'm not gonna go on social media. I'm just gonna sometimes search it up, other times I'm not. So I'm like, that's probably a smart idea for those who have anxiety.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps
Yeah.
your anxiety in check. But I just think it's actually pretty fun. It's basically a sports game. You're watching your
It's the
favorite
worst
team.
sports game to watch though, because life or death
But it's
situation.
Fun. It's fun. You get that adrenaline rush, right? It's like you hate both teams. You don't. No. It's more you don't know. Both are new teams, right? Basically, you don't know who's actually gonna do well.
True.
You're just rooting for
True.
random people at that point.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of crazy though. Not crazy. It's kind of it blows my mind that it was so unknown at first.
What do you mean?
As in people weren't sure whether or not Biden was going to win. And that just blows my mind. Cuz I'm I was just reading all these things. It's like Trump has done all these things that would have gotten him fired at any other job, but people are still like, let's reelect him. Like, that blows my mind. It blows my mind. You know?
It kind of, I think that basically shows how a lot of people in the US think. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because you have your own thoughts, you have your own opinions, right? But I wouldn't say it's exactly the correct way in my view, right? So it basically just shows how a large amount of people in the United States think,
Yeah.
right?
That would be frank, like, damn. I think, like, this is, like, so disappointing to see. Like, especially, like, if you see, like, the results of the props and, like, how, like, close this election is kind of, like, and how worried people were. It's, like, America is so racist and so
Underdeveloped.
classist. Yeah, and
Basically.
it's like everyone's like, oh, it's like the greatest country or like whatever. Like people still say that like sometimes. Right? I'm like, how? Like this election is literally showing in your face that this is like a white supremacist country. Like this is like white people rule and we don't care. They don't like this country doesn't care about the minorities here. And it blows my mind because it was just like the people that are still supporting Trump, and again, like we were talking about it, but it's like the Asians that still support Trump.
Yeah.
Like that still like blows my mind.
I'm pretty sure one of the I'm kind of I wouldn't say I can't say certain, right? Because I don't know the statistics and this is just based off of like people we talk to. So actually no, I've seen articles where they have said a large majority of not majority, a large amount of Asians do support President Trump.
Yeah.
And they want him to be reelected.
Yeah.
While I think it's like I was looking at the states and how they voted before in different websites. Many of them would say, oh, they would post men, women. Then they post races, right? And most of the Asians usually vote Democratic. But this time I think we're kind of split in the middle where probably if we go back like next year or after this election and we go back to see statistics or something, it might show a different number. It might show something way different.
True. Yeah.
And that's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Interesting is definitely a word for it. I think it's also like I just keep thinking that like the wording and the misinformation, like the wrong information about like what each like say like the tax increases and like what Prop 16 means and like all the other things that did not get passed or people are voting against. It's kind of like wow, like one, ballots are super confusing, right? Like it literally words things so it's harder for people to understand, which sucks. And then two, yeah, it's the fact that people just cling on to the first information that they hold, and it kind of just like I feel like that was part of the reason that a lot of people didn't know what's going on. Like money made things and words travel, right? Like Prop 22, like Uber and Lyft, what did like a 2 million or something?
It got to the point where I didn't even read it and I wanted to vote against it because of how much ads I saw. On YouTube, I would click a video. Oh, ads. Okay. All right. Some you could skip, some you can't skip. Then I'm thinking, I don't want to vote yes because you guys say it now. Just because I go everywhere and I see your stupid ad. Right? I'm not even going to read it. In the beginning, I was like, maybe do we vote yes? They make a good point. Then I was like, oh, I should go read it. Now I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to vote no. Because you're annoying. All the people that are saying, vote this, I'm going to vote the opposite.
I mean, that's the thing where it's like, it sucks, but it's like when people have the most money, they campaign a lot. And I think that's what happened with Prop 16 too. Like, I don't know. I was just like, I really wanted the proposition to pass,
Yeah.
right? And I think we talked about it before. We had discussed it with people, but like the fact that it didn't, and the fact that we saw campaigning to vote for no all throughout like the neighborhood we used to live in, it was just
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
like, damn, like money, it sucks, but I'm like, money is what leads to the election, right? Which is why,
Hmm.
like, when people campaign for certain positions and they have the money for it, like, they're gonna be the ones in that seat.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important. Like, I was telling you, like, why I, like, really like AOC, right?
Hmm.
And then it's like, and also, there's been really huge wins, though, this year.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Such huge wins for like LGBTQ plus community, and also like just like for women. And
Yeah.
I just think about it, I'm like, it needs to come from the people. Like the money needs to come
Hmm.
from the people, and working class people need to represent working class like citizens, right?
Yeah. It, I think my friend also said a very, very interesting thing that I also really agree with. He said that Trump, President Trump, is kind of weird and he doesn't really do what he thinks is best is because he didn't have to struggle like a lot of people did. He
Yeah.
wasn't exactly working class. He didn't even, I don't know if it's true, but honestly, it's like he was given a large amount of money to start his business, something that most people don't have. And that's what gets my friend really angry is because he's saying, his parents is an immigrant, right? His parents are immigrants. And he said that it sucks that people are saying these immigrants are rapists, are lazy, not hardworking, right? It even hurts when I hear Asian people say that about like Hispanics and like black people. It's like, yo, you can't say that. And it kind of also relates towards to Prop 16 or what was the rent control one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because Prop 16, a lot of people are saying no because our child won't have a good chance. Our child will be racially
Yeah.
profiled and they won't get into college. I spent $20,000 this month with SAT preps, right? The fact that they could say that, the fact that they could think that and still say, oh, I want my child to have the best life. I don't really want other people to, just because they're lazy, right? They
Yeah.
grouped everyone to, like, millions of immigrants here. Oh, they're just lazy. I don't think that's true. My friend's hardworking more than many of the people's kids I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
He
It's
still
definitely not
studies.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like it's that thing where like people unconsciously have these biases, and then these biases turn into discrimination, and they're like, "Well, no, it's just fact." I'm like, "No, it's not fact.
Yeah. And they
Those are
can't even
your
give us
biases."
facts.
Yeah, I'm like, "Where's the facts?" And I think that's why it like I keep saying this, but like everything blows my mind because I'm like, literally, people don't follow facts.
They don't.
Yeah, like just when I listen and I watch people answer questions, and like when I ask them to explain themselves, it's like they're running around in circles, but they still believe it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of just I can't believe sometimes like how much people would just go along with this, because
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes in, like they're in such a place of privilege, right? That it's like they can just continue to think like that because no matter what they vote for, they're technically not going to be affected, right? And then I was reading something and it was like saying how like the fact that people right now are voting for Trump because of a tax bracket they're not even going to even be a part of, even if like that like no one's rich enough to be in that like tax bracket, or like
Yeah.
to be taxed that often. It's like Biden's plan isn't even going to touch them, right? In terms of the tax increase, it's like for that to vote for Trump for that versus the people who are voting against Trump because their lives depend on it. It's like that's privilege.
I think it's also I might have gotten this mixed up, but I might not be right. Right. I think someone told my friend that they don't want to vote for Biden because of the tax. But the funny thing is, he doesn't even work. He's like, we're gonna get taxed so much money. It's like, bro, you don't even work. What are you so worried about the tax thing? You don't even work to get taxed. Also, they're just gonna start taking your money, huh? The $0 that you have in your bank, they're gonna take that. and tax that every year. 30% of zero is still zero,
Yeah.
right? And I think I also
Oh
want
my
to add,
goodness.
I do agree with you. It is really mind blowing that so many people just go along with whatever people say, right? And I think that's really interesting because it kind of shows. This election also shows how ignorant and how lazy, how I would say lazy in terms of just finding knowledge, right? Just learning. Because a lot of people are saying, I since I've heard a lot about Prop 16 from people around me and also online on social media, whatever, it's like, did you read the prop? You didn't read the prop? No? Oh, okay. So where did you get your information from? Oh, a very biased place that says no to Prop 16. That's giving you unbiased information. Whoa, okay. So anywhere else? No? Oh, your friend told you. Oh, does your friend support President Trump? Yes. Oh, okay, I get it now. It's kind of like they don't really think for themselves. They don't really take the time to go read it because they don't think they need to, or they don't think they don't. It's like they read
Yeah.
the title and say, "Oh, I already know. I'm that smart." Well,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a herd mentality. And it's like, well, if my community, not community, but it's like the people around me are doing this, well, why should I also be doing this? But it's like, no, like you have the autonomy, you have the agency to go and research this yourself and like
yeah,
make the best decision because I'm like, you're literally voting against yourself. like,
basically,
like it's like, it's really frustrating to see that some people are very, very ignorant about the fact that you are literally pulling your whole community down.
yeah,
Like you are literally pulling your whole community down. It's not all about you. And I think like it just goes to show that this individualism thing in America is just plain selfish.
yeah,
Like you can protect yourself all you want, but like your money's not going to save you from this. Like
yeah,
if Trump wins, like we won't like minorities and anyone like it's like we're not going to like have an easy time here.
yeah.
We
We
already
definitely
don't.
won't.
But
Yeah,
like
that's like we're actually kind of lucky that our community is a little bit safer because we are a small city.
yeah.
So I guess that's why a lot of people in this community are so selfish
Yeah.
because they haven't experienced the racism.
Yeah.
They haven't experienced people going up to them, beating them up, or like cursing them out, right? They haven't
Yeah.
experienced that.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully, right, everything goes well and people could learn from this election and everything that happens because some of the props that didn't pass is actually really, really sad.
No, I'm like, why? I just, yeah. I mean, like, yeah. I think I woke up this morning and I looked at the results and I was like, are you kidding me? And I think, like, I was reading something on, again, I keep reading things on Twitter. This one was on Twitter. Like, a friend had told me that, like, California, I'll credit this wherever this was, but it's like California is the epitome of, like, performative activism. Like we keep saying that like, oh, we're democratic, we're progressive, like California is gonna do blah blah blah, but the props that didn't pass is kind of like California is still like white centered and like I don't know, it just I don't know.
I also kind of think of that as people who are like older, right?
Mm-hmm.
People not in our generation. Because I want to say our generation and all the generations that are a lot younger, that are, let's say, 2 years older than us or whatever, they're more progressive. I want to say that because I've talked to like a lot of people that I met are very progressive. They do support, LGBTQ community. They do want women's to have more rights and they do understand the issues in the world. But I also think California has a lot of people that are older than us.
True.
Way, way older.
True, yeah.
Right? Because they don't, most of them, I'm pretty sure they voted. Pretty sure they voted. Because the people we've talked to, they voted. They literally went on social media just to tell their friends. And their friends to tell their friends to vote no on certain things.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's one of the main issues. And you also kind of figure that out as like what was that prop where you could vote if you're 17? That's probably not going to pass either,
I don't think it's gonna pass from
right?
the looks of it.
The
Yeah.
fact that they're not allowing 17-year-olds to vote, it's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure people that are around our age, people that
Want
are
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that are in younger generations, they want that. They think that's beneficial,
Yeah.
right? Because you could drive a car when you're 16, but now that I look back, a bunch of people when you're 16, you're stupid. You're really, really dumb. You do so many dumb decisions with the car, and you can't really kill anyone to say if you vote, but you can kill someone literally with a car.
Yeah, so it's like that's the responsibility of like that you already put on a so-called kid, and it's like, why aren't you allowing them to vote? Because
Yeah.
the fact is that they're gonna have to live through it through some of the most important years of their lives.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when you go to college, like who's gonna pay the debt? Like who's gonna pay for school? Who's gonna like, like support you, and like how's the economy gonna look for them
Yeah.
when they come out to work? It's like they have to live through 4 years of like a president they didn't even choose.
And I also want to say, I forgot about this. If the 17-year-old was put, I could have voted before, right?
I know.
I could have voted before. But I couldn't because I was not of age. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of 17-year-olds do go into college when they're 17, right?
Yeah, no, I've had
That's
a
why
lot
a
of
lot of
friends
younger
who
people.
skipped a year and
That's
then,
why
yeah.
they're still 17 and they still went to college. They still chose to take in $10,000, $100,000 worth of debt. But why can't they vote? I think that's very interesting. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't get why. It's not even the props, right? They're not even It's not even. There's not a close number. It's not even close. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Many
I'm
of
looking
them
at the
is
things
what,
right now.
55% versus 45%.
Yeah. Yeah. Allow age 17 primary voters, 55.1%. It's only 72% reporting right now, but... And again, this is November 4th at like 8 p.m. So
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like likely that it's not going to
Yeah,
pass.
the allows to age 17 because 66.5 million votes are in for no, but only 5.3 is in for yes. 30%, I guess you could get another 1 million from that, but I still think it's really hard.
It'll be hard, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, also the rent control, 59.7%.
I don't get that, but the rent thing, I kind of understand why it wouldn't pass. I didn't really, as I was voting, right, I didn't really think it was going to pass either way because of how much people want money, right?
This is
So
a
many
for-profit. Like
That's
it's,
what I mean. So many people, but that's the thing, if you think about it, so many people are renting out their house. You think they want to be stuck with, I can't change your rent, and the rent's $1,100 for a two bed apartment. It's like so many people will disapprove.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wow, we've been really negative for a while. I mean, that's how the election is right now. I did want to say, though, I'm like, yeah, these problems have just always been here.
Yeah.
I think it's just even, like, it's just thrown in everyone's faces now that, like, this is what America is. And, like, and I think that's what Trump brought out, like, outright racism. Like, it's like, usually people know to, like, shut up and, like, shut your pie hole and go back and be racist in your own little house. But, like, right now people are just jumping free.
This might sound really bad, right? But I don't mean it in, like, I don't mean it in a way as like an insult or whatever. I just want to say I think 2020 is actually good because of how it's forcing everyone to face the issues, right? That's how I think of it. Racism. People are actually taking a stand. So many people are voting this year because of this issue.
Yeah.
So many people that's the thing, like, media doesn't show it, but I think people in like different communities are getting together to help each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think minority communities are helping each other. They're like supporting
Yeah.
each other. And I think that's also very, very good. And I think that's not exactly. I don't think that was as open, right? Because there's a lot of Asian social medias that's if when the Black Lives Matter movements was going on, they were posting, they were supporting. A lot of Asian influencers were supporting.
Yeah.
A lot of other people of color like influencers are also posting about how
Yeah.
they support it, and I think that's also really, really cool because you don't get that before.
Yeah. Which really sucks. But yeah, I agree. I'm glad that I'm not like, how do I word this phrase in a way?
That's what I mean.
It's like it's bad. Like, it's so bad.
Yes.
It's like, how did it take you this long to realize that
Yes.
like you're being racist, and like you can't just be non-racist. You can't just be like, I have a black friend or I have a queer friend. It's like you have to actually take and do something about it, right? And like actually physically, like, concretely support and protect the people that are most vulnerable right now, right? But like, yeah, it's like I get what you mean. I'm like, I feel like it's like a conflicting feeling of like, wow, it took you so long, but like now that you're here, you better put the work in, kind of deal. And I think that needs to happen no matter what this election brings, because no matter what, like, minorities are still going to be targeted, and no matter what, it's like racism has and still exists, and it takes like this community action to continue even past the election.
Yeah,
Because like
definitely.
just seeing everything, it's like I think people kind of it seems like the vote is like the most important thing, and yes, that's important, but also like to add on to that, what are you doing to continue and to continue to progress, and like, you know, like the whole, like, you know me, I'm like part of like a lot of different like orgs that are like very, very social justice oriented, but it's like true, it's like, how are you like contributing to like a revolution or like to activism like post election. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just agreeing. Because, and I was also saying, yeah, what I'm thinking is kind of hard to put into words, which is why I was kind of debating whether or not to say it. But I'm also thinking, might as well, because that's honestly what I'm thinking. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
I do agree, like, I'm not saying it's good that, there are these issues, right? But I'm saying it's good that people are actually acknowledging it. And I also
Yeah.
think with progression of technology, it's making it possible.
That's true. That's
Right?
very true.
Social media,
Yeah.
literally, someone's being racist, you just pick up your phone, you record it, throw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone could see it.
I think it's been helpful over the years, and you can see it and you can broadcast it, versus people who like suppression of like, you know, like voter suppression, or like just like the news still like suppresses certain like stories still coming out, but it's definitely been better. So I do agree with you, and I think like, I mean, this whole podcast is for us to kind of like go through our thoughts, you know, like the whole like say it ugly, say it raw kind of thing. So I think like it's fine if you can't if we can't completely articulate like what we really want to say, but I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I do agree with you. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting 4 years, I guess. Not 4 years, but like it's gonna be interesting 4 years because who's gonna be our president?
Yeah.
We still don't know,
Yeah.
right? But I think it's a late but a step in the right direction with what's going on, because people who are willing to support minority groups are also giving their support. People who have the platform now because of social media, because of so many public places where they could voice themselves, where a lot of people would see, are also doing that as well. So I
Yeah.
think that's awesome, right? And I think
Yeah.
I hope we could do that too. We're gonna do that more, right?
Yeah.
I'm also thinking it's exciting. I think this direction of our channel.
Yeah.
Kind of went off topic, but
Yeah. That's all good. I think that's the thing where it's like, what's it called? One, like, acknowledge the work that has already been done, like mostly from like Black queer folks who have been doing this like organizing work and like activism work for like years on end, you know? And then also it's like, yeah, I'm also glad that we are like family who is like, we're trying to do something, and like,
yeah,
like I hope it's the same for, like I think it's also the same with our communities, but I think that's what I want to emphasize. Like whoever's listening, I don't know who's listening, but like it's important that like everyone recognizes that your voice is really important. You know, it's like we may only be two people, but we know maybe another two people. And I can know people here all the time, but you know maybe two, three people. Those two, three people know two, three more people.
Yeah.
And as long as you like continue to know to have those conversations with people and to spread the word and to actively like do your part, it's like change can be made, you know?
Yeah. Slowly but surely, if everyone actually does their part, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny. This is definitely off topic, but I was thinking that, like, I don't know, this election made me think, but I think, like, when we first started, like, I mean, we didn't start that long ago, but it was like, oh, it's just, like, fun and games sometimes, and, like, just talk about whatever we want to talk about. But this ended up being something we wanted to talk about, you know?
Yeah. I remember something different, but
Really?
basically, so, yeah, I think I do agree with you.
My memory's bad. But yeah, any last fleeting ending words you have for especially people your age, because you're still younger than me?
Yeah. What advice would I give?
Maybe just like what you would do. Not advice, just like what you're doing.
What would I do? I would say... What would I say? How about you go first? Let me think about it.
Okay. I think I really want to emphasize community and I was about to say, I was like, I know this is like a very broad, but I think in that sense it's like we need to not only support our community, but support other communities because like we're all in this together. And that means like, you know, giving your money to mutual aid, giving your money to those who need it more, and like making sure that you're part of those like protests if you can be, seeing where you can fit into this whole organizing and all this activism so that we can all have a better like life and have like work towards like equity. So yeah, I think it's like continue to have those conversations, continue to stay educated, always like ask questions, like, and also just be safe. I think especially going forward, it's like I feel like really, really, really just like part of this is also making sure that you are safe and you're taking care of yourself, because it's not gonna be easy. Like if you ever go out alone, like make sure you don't just stay with a buddy, or like take some self-defense classes. It's not gonna be easy, but we're all here together. Yeah.
So I think my sister did a better job at closing. I still can't really think of anything because I kind of already said everything I wanted to say in the video.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully you all found this helpful. Again, I want to, emphasize the fact that everything we're saying isn't going to be 100% true. And if there's something we said incorrectly or there's something that isn't factually correct, please let us know. Right? I don't want to be saying something that is really, really bad and I don't even know about it. So, yeah. Let us know. Put it in the comments. DM us. And
and also know that like we're always going to be educating ourselves in the background too. So if anything ever comes up, we will address that.
Yes.
And yeah.
All right. So subscribe. Take
care of yourself. And also like if you have any rant or like just talk. I know we're all strangers. Maybe that's why it works. Just talk to strangers,
Just we'll if we have enough people who wants to, we might start like a Discord or something.
Yeah.
Start a little community. That'd be fun, but as of now, no. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Slowly building it up. But yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay healthy. Stay safe.